fasting is more than just going through the motions. It's a sacrifice which indicates our reverence to a God who is and was and always will be good to us. It's done because we realize that as we stand before him, we are inadequate, and the things we do continually make us more and more unworthy to stand in his presence. Our unworthiness in the sight of God ought to cause us to anguish to the point of grief of how hopeless we really are without the presence of him in our lives. And when we realize how unworthy we truly are, we can't help but do whatever must be done to purge the foolishness of our life, in hopes that he just might catch a glimpse or a glimmer of somebody who wants nothing more than to be better and to become more deserving of the goodness he gives to us. All right. So the question is, what are we fasting for? And there are just two things tonight that the Lord would have us remember if we're going to be able to answer this question. First of all, we must remember it's not the outward action that is the true indicator of the fast. We spend a whole lot of time trying to figure out what we're going to fast from. Are we going to give up watching television? Are we going to give up sweets for the next 40 days? Are we going to give up fried foods? Are we going to give up shopping? Are we going to give up time doing things we normally would like to do? All these questions seem relevant to the needs we have in the right here and the right now with the Lenten season upon us. But if we look at the text in Joel chapter 2, we come to realize that the Lord is very much clear in what he wants the prophet to say to all of Israel concerning his expectations for them if they're not going to be susceptible to the Lord's judgment that is surely theirs if they don't turn from their sin. Listen to what he says. He says, even now, declares the Lord, return to me with all of your heart, with fasting and weeping and mourning. Rend your hearts and not your garments. The Lord says, in essence, he is not concerned about what you plan on giving up if what you're giving up is only a superficial decision. In other words, you're saying you're sacrificing your time. We're saying we're sacrificing when we abstain from certain things during this season, but it means nothing if it's motivated by just making a change that shows up only on the outside. He's concerned with our inner working. The Israelites in the Joel text were good about just going through the motions. Good about saying, Lord, forgive me. If you just get me out of this situation, I promise you I'll serve you with all my heart. They were good about deciding to turn from the ways and from the ways in the moment that placed them opposed to God. But as soon as they got a glimpse of deliverance, going right back to what they always had done. Does that sound familiar? The Lord says to Job, tell these folks it's time out for playing all these games. Running around tearing your clothes in supposed anguish. Placing ashes on your heads, trying to convince me that you are truly repentant. Let them know that unless there's a tearing of their heart of old and replacing it with one that is new, the Lord is concerned about the renewal of their commitment in a real way. Unless there is a true movement to realign their priorities, they are wasting their time. The Lord says to each of us this evening as we embark on this 40-day journey toward Calvary, unless you're truly in a place of altering your heart's desires, unless you're truly committed to him, unless we are willing to maintain the change we're making after this time period has passed, because our heart's desire is to please him, we may as well not embark on a fast at all. Doesn't matter how many meals we skip, how many bad habits we cut out, how much money we save, how many good things we do, if our fast is not dictated by a change in our heart, we are simply wasting time. From time to time, I like to watch HGTV. The Property Brothers and shows like that, where folks are buying and selling houses that look like nothing at the start of the show, but at the end they look like something everybody would want. I'm reminded of these shows because in these shows there are always two plans that go in place when a remodel is embarked upon. There is the outside plan and the inside plan. The outside plan involves the beautification of the outside of the home, planting shrubs and flowers and resodding the grass and creating sitting areas in the backyard. Curb appeal is what they call it. The inside plan involves taking the things on the inside that are old and dilapidated out and replacing them with things that are new and fresh. I've seen on this show houses that have had no alterations on the outside, but that have been gutted on the inside and made to look brand new when the prospective buyer walks through the front door. And I've seen on this show houses that had no alterations on the inside, but that have been totally changed in terms of their curb appeal. I've noticed something though, New Hope. A house can go unchanged on the outside and be changed on the inside and sell for some high prices. But a house that's only been changed on the outside with no work on the inside is always sitting on the market at the end of the show. What does this say to me? What it says to me is that the average buyer is not concerned as much initially with the outside so long as they know that the things on the inside have been changed. Because they always say they can work on the outside at their own convenience. But the average buyer is overly concerned when only the outside has been changed, but the inside has not, because the likelihood of addressing all the issues on the inside is slim to none. For those of us who only want to embark on the fast for how it looks on the outside, the Lord says he ain't buying. Because the likelihood of there truly having been a change of heart on the inside is slim to none. But even if you decide not to embark on a fast that can be outwardly seen by everybody, but your heart is turned towards him, the Lord says he's pleased in that. Because he's slow in anger and abounding in love and gracious towards you as you work towards making an authentic sacrifice to him. So what are we fasting for? We're fasting in order for the Lord to know that our heart's desire and our true commitment is to him above everything else.